Okay, first question, go ahead.
I was wondering where you think Serious Sam fits into the return of fun video games.
It's the only one. Next question.
Yes, Sam never left.
Yeah.
You know, Sam's kind of niche now. I loved, you know, Sam. The fact when Sam 4 came out, and people were like, "Oh, it's just like Serious Sam again." It's like, yeah, no shit. That's what we want. Don't change. Could you imagine if they changed Serious Sam? And then Siberian Mayhem was really good. Yeah, we didn't talk about Sam enough, but Sam's up there with Duke and everyone else as far as I'm concerned. It's a different type of game, but it's the same dance of death, you know?
It's such a unique cup of tea with Serious Sam. Like, you don't find too many Sam-likes. Like, there's like a few out there. Serious Sally. But anyway, for the most part, Sam is just such a weird, unique cup of tea, and Crow Team is always making like the most absolute, can I say fuck in this panel?
Yes, you can say fuck.
Most fucking bizarre
I say fuck every other word.
And it's funny because like, sometimes like some of that weirdness, like the Sam community is like, I don't know how I feel about this or whatever, but I just kind of like, with the whole Serious Sam thing, I just love watching them go and just seeing everything they try, because like, they're always gonna do something that's like weird and like bizarre in a really fun way. Actually, Lexi, you were talking about how Rise of the Triad was like an experience for you that was like, you felt like you could feel the developers. I feel that way about Serious Sam, where Serious Sam is a game that I play and I feel like I am constantly having a conversation with the developer, except what the developer is saying is, lol, Lamau.
Look at all these clears.
Yeah.
And for asking about Serious Sam, you have earned yourself a mouse pad. Would you like a Duke one or a big new Apogee one?
Duke one.
The big one?
No.
Oh, the Duke one?
Of course they're going to go for the Duke.
All right, come get it.
You folks weren't here to see it, and we won't make him emulate it for safety, but before you came in here, Scott threw one of the Duke mouse pads to, I think it was Jaren, I think, and it was just a really sick throw. It like went through the air. It was like spinning like a shuriken. It was amazing. I just wanted to give him a little bit of credit for that. You know what? Maybe I will get some gum.
I guess we'll go left, right, so yeah, over there.
Oh, cool. God, there's a second line.
So, Duke Nukem 3D is easily my favorite game of all time. And
all right, give him a
I think part of the reason that makes the game so good is the build engine was so revolutionary for the time. And you know, we saw that improved with Shadow Warrior and the level destruction and the open branching areas that didn't feel quite so flat and maze-like that Doom felt. And so when we got Ion Fury, you know, we got to see the build engine hot rodded and brought up to another level that still looked like old Duke, but also got to do some really neat new things. I was wondering if there's any chance that we're seeing that, you know, kind of level of modification to older engines coming down the pike for, you know, newer games that maybe in like Quake 1 or something that we can see cranked up a little bit more.
Oh, I can actually answer that.
Yeah.
So actually, I am part of the Doom modding community, and one of the biggest things at my studio that we do is GZ Doom games. So we have like this sort of like GPL3 license where we're allowed to use the GZ Doom engine to create our own games. Still using the Doom engine, but creating our own assets and code and things like that to make something entirely new. So if you've heard of anything like Age of Hell, I'm self-promoting a little bit, but if you've seen any of those types of games, or Heat on Bloodright, which is out, those use the GZ Doom engine to create an entirely new game. And actually in the build engine, there's Project AWOL that just came out recently as well.
Yeah, AWOL's sick. AWOL's free, by the way.
Yeah, and it's free, so please go download it.
Yeah, I'll go play that like tonight.
Yeah, AWOL's cool. I mean, what I've said about it is because there was a time when, you know, there've been two schools of thought, and I found that making old engines do new things is just as hard as making new engines do old things. Like, you know, Voidpoint having to beat the build engine into submission to do Ion Fury was just as hard as us beating Unity into submission to do stuff like Ultra Kill and Dusk. It's just like, either way, it's just such a pain in the ass, but it's, the results are worth it, you know? People think making old games is just like, oh, let's put some shitty graphics and guns in a map. Like, no, it's a lot of work making the games look this way on purpose, but we...
Yeah, and Sam could probably tell you about his days with Total Chaos.
Yeah, except Total Chaos, which looks like it was made in Unreal, even though it's a Doom engine. But yeah, we just, the fact that people, you know, people like you appreciate it makes it worth it for us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we've been talking a lot about custom maps, mods, like that for these old style FPS. So I'm very curious what each one of your favorite custom map packs, mods are for these old games. So, you know, favorite Doom mod or anything like that.
Arcane Dimensions for Quake. It's like a must play. I don't even, so I'm kind of guilty because I don't play enough mods. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
Marky Music, who did, he had formerly been doing music for Viscera Fest, did some sounds for Proteus, did a bunch of stuff for Quake Champions Doom Edition. He's a good pal. Put a gun to my head and made me play Arcane Dimensions for Quake. And oh my God, just like the open level design and stuff, it's so good. That's my favorite anyway.
I guess I can't say my own because I've made a few now, but actually, probably one of the sets that actually sort of first set me on my modding journey was Stardate 20X6 by Ribix. It's this beautiful Boom compatible episode of these black and purple maps that were created using a palette swap. And I found that just so inspiring and beautiful. This beautiful gothic, strange, spacey architecture was probably one of the best mods I've ever played.
So the output of the Doom community is just enormous, and there's actually a awards ceremony that's done every year as part of the Doom World forums.
Oh yeah, I used to write for that.
and every year they come out with the number of things that come out every year that just knock your socks off and you make you think, wow, the Doom engine can do that? Is just enormous.
Yeah,
So-
Total Chaos was a Keck Awards winner, I believe.
Yeah, that one.
It won an award for a mod that came out that everybody thought wasn't going to come out because it was been in development for so long.
So yeah, just pick anything from the recent CAC Award winners, and you're bound to find something amazing. Probably my favorite of recent memory is this level set called Ancient Aliens.
Yes.
Which has a lot of memes in it surrounding that Ancient Alien show, but it's just completely swaps the palette for magentas and reds and all these weird gimmicks and some monster replacements and some amazing music. It is an experience. You can start there, and there's way more than that. Come on, another place to get it. There's a YouTuber named the Dean of Doom. He does a series that's about weekly, every other week, maybe monthly, where he just goes and reviews a set of levels in depth and gives each level a grade and then the entire WAD a grade. It is, if you're looking for Doom stuff to play, Doom World and Dean of Doom are where you should look at first, because it's bottomless.
Machine, I hear those fucking Discord pings. Get on the Discord, kitten.
I'm going to say Action Doom 2, made by a guy named Scuba Steve. Mm-hmm. Some of you may know it, and I believe it was also a big inspiration for one of our games, Fallen Aces. Trey is here today.
Yeah, Trey.
For me, I like Doom mods that make Doom not Doom. You know, that make it not look like Doom. And I think that was the first one I ever played where I was like, holy shit, you can do this with Doom. It doesn't look like Doom. It doesn't play like Doom. It's got cutscenes. It's got, you know, it's like a film noir, you know, brawler. This was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And when I first saw Fallen Aces, I was like, actiondoom3.com. And I registered that immediately before I even met Trey. So for me, yeah, I'm going to say Action Doom 2 is my favorite Doom mod.
Well, he stole what I was going to say.
You were gonna say Action
I was going to say Action Doom as well.
Oh.
So I'll go for the first Action Doom, which plays a lot like a Metal Slug.
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of game, and that was, you know, for the same reasons as what Dave said. Like when I played Action Doom, I realized, okay, there's so much more you can do with this engine that you can make a game, a total conversion that looks completely different from anything you've played before.
And that's how Total Chaos was.
Next question.
Next question? No favorites?
No, I mean, we've all answered.
Okay.
I think he deserves a little bit of swag for that question, honestly.
And for the Doom mod question, you've earned a mouse pad because that's a good one. Which one do you want? Come up and get one. Where'd Doom?
He's over there. Coming.
Yeah,
All right, we'll take the next question.
Scott, you can handle it. Next question.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Which one?
I just wanted to ask, for example, Warhammer Bolt Gun, another boomer shooter, is on the floor today. If you could adapt any property into a boomer shooter, which would you choose?
Oh, any property into a boomer shooter.
John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah. Good answer, Shannon. We saw John Wick 4 last night. Holy shit.
So did I.
Bro, he just keeps shooting people for like 3 hours. That's the whole movie. There's no plot. There's no nothing. He's just like, I gotta kill everybody. It's like, what? I'm gonna kill you. And then he just shoots people for 3 hours. It's amazing. I don't know, that was a good one, John. Scott, any IP you could make into a boomer shooter?
Nah, John Wick's tops.
I think we're all going to say John Wick boomer shooter. That's
Blood. Just make a blood game. That's all. Anyway.
Well, somebody got bought by Atari. All right, good question. Over here.
Do we think we'll ever see a re-release of No One Lives Forever?
Lexi?
Never say never. I don't know that I have anything to add that discussion. Just know that the topic has been broached repeatedly, and we are on the lookout for it.
Yeah, it's one of Steve Kick's favorites. I've had a lot of conversations with him about it. He really wants to, but it's like so much legal bullshit.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Never say never with Nightdive. They do try their best.
I think that's literally the last one. Once that's it, we can all go home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. This is a request for Gianni specifically.
Here we go.
This is an inside joke that nobody here will get aside from my D&D group.
Okay.
Can I please have Duke Nukem say, prepare to be a tier 3 sub of being dead?
That's an inside joke, but also that's just a good joke. But yeah, okay. Right. It goes, prepare to be a tier 3 sub of being dead.
Thank you so much.
All right.
That's really good.
Hi. So a lot of what defines boomer shooters and what defines revived boomer shooters, so to speak, is their gameplay. But how important is an aesthetic to keeping the vibe of a boomer shooter? Because it's like, how much of it is just like, oh my god, this looks like it sucks, I want to play it. Like,
works for Dusk.
Yeah.
I'd say I am an absolute slut for aesthetics. So some of us in our studio are definitely more on that side of it, but I'm sure everybody else has got a different opinion.
No, I mean, that's the different aesthetics of these boomer shooters are the best part. Like going for the ultra kill PlayStation style graphics with all the visceral blood everywhere, and then you get the far out stuff of a medieval. It's just that's almost the best part. You get all these unexplored visual motifs.
I don't even need a PR department. Y'all are great. Yeah, I think just as long as they stand out. You do get a lot of samey ones, but for me, when we're working on our games, Dusk looks like Dusk, a medieval looks like a medieval, Ultra Kill looks like an Ultra Kill, Gloomwood looks like Gloomwood, Fallen Aces looks like Gabagoo. So yeah, I think aesthetics are important. If you take Bolt Gun for instance. Somebody just brought up Bolt Gun. You see that immediately, you're like, holy shit, Warhammer 40K boomer shooter, sick, and it's undeniable. You see the bolter, you see the chainsword, you're like, but I mean, Warhammer's an easy one, man. As long as you got that shit in there, I'm buying it day one.
There's also like a There was also a recent blood style one that had a really good aesthetic.
Cultic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really crunchy. Cultic, yeah, that aesthetic. As soon as that dev started sharing it on Twitter, everybody was like,
crunchy as
that looks fucking crunchy as fuck. And it was so aesthetics are important for sure.
Thank you. Good question. Hi.
Hello. I'm about to talk about something niche. Do you remember PlayStation Home from the PlayStation 3?
Yeah.
Do you remember Sodium 1?
No. That
it
is
was the
niche.
hover tank one with the suit and...
No?
Okay, fine. Backup question it is then.
Okay. All right. Hey, plan B. Got to respect that.
Plan B.
5-minute warning.
Gianni.
Uh-oh.
It's not a request, don't worry. You're safe this time.
People are backing away from me.
Gianni, if you could go back in time to voice one of these old legendary boomer shooters, what would it be?
Honestly, none of them. Like, I get that a bit, and I've like for Serious Sam or for Duke Nukem or for whatever, it's like, oh, wouldn't you love to be the voice of that guy? And I'm like, No, John J. Dick is Serious Sam. If he wasn't Serious Sam, I wouldn't like it as much. If John St. John is Duke Nukem, if it wasn't Duke Nukem, I wouldn't like him as much. I don't know, like, even Ranger is like super cool. First of all, I wouldn't like have Ranger sitting there spitting a monologue in Quake. Okay, sorry, bringing up Quake Champions again. But in Quake Champions, he's voiced by I think it's Jim Ward, and who also voices Captain Quark. But anyway, sounds really awesome. And it's like I can't. Stephen Waite, as Caleb has to be mentioned. I don't know, like, I can't imagine really going back and replacing any of those legendary actors, but I mean, I guess you might as well throw me in Redneck Rampage, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they sound like, you know, you love doing the impressions because the voices are so iconic.
Right,
it's like,
exactly.
you know, I can't picture anyone else doing Gabriel now, you know, that's you. And, you know, when me and Hakuto were coming up with, like, the voice, I originally thought he was going to sound like Tyrael from Diablo.
Yeah, you reached out and was like, you were like, get your Tyrael impression ready.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was
machine.
like big, booming voice, and Hakuto's like, no, he should sound like an angsty high school kid. And I was like, all right, and then I played some more DM Devil May Cry, and I was like, oh, I get it.
That was me and him playing around a little bit, because I basically sent him a batch of tests, and one of them was what you had asked for. It was like, machine, turn back now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And then just a random little side story, but at the time I'd been watching through the Berserk bloopers again, and so I was thinking about Griffith, and Hikita was describing the character to me, you know, kind of like flowery, dramatic, has a lot of like one sense of composure, total drama queen. And not that I was like make him sound like Griffith, but I kind of like leaked a little bit of that influence in for like the final test that I sent over to Hikita, and that was the one that he wanted to go with. And the reasoning was, he was like, you know, I like that this is really different, because so many of the like bosses and stuff in retro FPS right now, they're like super cool and low and evil, and that's fun, but where we wanted to go with the character and everything, he really liked that, so that was the direction we went with it.
Yeah,
we made him a twink.
And he pushed it. He pushed for it, and I pushed back a little bit. And I said, "All right, man, it's your game." And then you know, everybody loved it, and I loved it, and I can't hear it any other way now. So like, when it works, and that's how things become iconic.
All right, thank you so much. We got 2 minutes, so lightning round, guys.
I just want to say, huge fan of all of you up there. Like, crazy huge fan, especially of Overkill, Dusk. Blood Fresh Supply was like my first reintroduction back into FPS.
Yeah.
What are your plans for, like, or what would you like to do for another genre of shooting games? Because you have Dusk, which is like a horror-esque, and you have Overkill, which is just pure fun and excitement. And then you have a Medieval, which is fantasy. So what would you want?
Are you asking me?
Anyone up there.
I mean,
like
so obviously we're doing 2 immersive sims now. We've got Gloomwood, which is an homage to things like Thief and Resident Evil. We've got Fallen Aces over here, which is more of a condemned style brawler, but with a hand-drawn comic book style, all painfully drawn by Trey himself, hands.
I just want to appreciate that the slides are actually Italian-American pride.
Hey, you
got any questions?
Any fucking questions? You know, as far as shooters, so one of our devs who's working on Gloomwood is a guy named Nate. He's working on a game called Apogee, and Apogee is basically a Metroid Prime boomer shooter. So it's and it's also a Souls-like. So it hasn't been done, which is why I want to work with Nate on Effigy so bad, because it's like every one of our games, if we're going to do another shooter, it needs to be completely different. You know, if we did another game that was, say if we published Hrot, right? The dev for Hrot really wanted us to work with him on Hrot, and we love Hrot. It's Slav Dusk. It's amazing. The guy built the whole game in Pascal. But I said, listen, it's just another Dusk. We don't need that. Plus, you know, I don't want to take your money, dude. I'll just help make you some of your own money. So when we look for something new, it's got to be something that's completely different than our other games. So something like Effigy, which you can all look up, which is QuakeTroidPrime.com. I haven't actually registered that yet. Fuck. But yeah, now that I've gotten into Souls-likes and more open worlds and stuff like that, being able to apply that to a boomer shooter and make it like Metroid Prime, where you're scanning stuff and exploring these ancient alien worlds, but also boomy shooting, is really attractive to me. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to work on Effigy with Nate at some point. Anybody else?
I would only say arena FPS, like multiplayer, like, you know, Quake 3.
It's not coming back. You saw the YouTube thumbnail.
I know it's
dead.
I know, but that's what I want anyway. So I'm gonna keep fighting
Play
that.
Quake
desperate
Champions for fuck's sake.
What lessons did you get from the Dark Age that you're carrying over to now?
The Dark Age from before Boomer Shooters?
Before the rise again, before the resurrection.
What lessons did we learn?
Yeah,
from Duke Nukem Forever? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to say it.
What not to do at a stoplight.
What lessons did we learn? Well, we learned a lot of what not to do, even though that stuff will probably come into fashion again. I think what we learned more than anything else from this and from doing early access, which we've done really well, and from coming to shows like PAX and doing panels like this, is listen to your players. Give the people what they want, because they will tell you. Feedback, good, bad, and otherwise. There is good, actionable feedback in there. People know what they want. They're really good at letting you know what you want. So if you can listen and apply that to your games, you'll make better games. It's not that hard. Stop putting fucking shitty microtransaction fat shark in your shit. I just want to play Dark Tide without stuff.
Fuck DLC. That is all I have to say. Fuck DLC.
Yeah. All right. I'll keep it really short.
I think we're out of time.
Oh, they gave us another 2 minutes, I guess. 2 minute warning.
No, we're past.
That's 2 minutes over. Yeah, they're gonna kill us.
So that was it. If you have like personal questions or want to like just take a hug Gianni, that's weird.
I say we'll be around.
We'll be outside or here for a little bit. Gianni will be signing autographs at the New Blood booth after this until the end of the show. So come by, come play a Medieval VR. Thank you so much for coming out. We love you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Keep playing Boomer Shooters. We'll keep making them.